And now a quick analysis into the fascinating realm of isekai anime, also known as "Whoa, I'm in another world" anime. Take a random character, or characters, and somehow transport them away from their homes. You can either use a random MacGuffin like a book, or have some divine power summon them, or, I don't know, have the character blink a few times and BAM! There we go, we're in a new world. Our character is a bit scared and confused, but luckily finds another character familiar to this world to help them out. Whether they discover their purpose in their new world or not is up to the plot, but now we have a story with our heroes stepping into a new territory where they are given a random task that helps them grow as a character and helps them make new friends that usually have their own stereotypical characterization. Female versions would have a guy follow them around who has an attitude and totally doesn't care for the heroine, but seriously, he totally does. While the male version is pretty much a harem. Now, what happens if we take the male version of isekai anime and turn it completely upside down? You get Konosuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world. Konosuba, one of several anime titles people have been requesting me to review, so David Purebrig used his Patreon request to get me to do it. Yay! In all seriousness, thank you, David, for supporting us through Patreon. This popular series started off as a light novel series back in 2012, and like with any other popular form of media in Japan, Konosuba got its own manga adaptation back in 2014, which led to a radio drama in 2015, until it finally got its own anime series during the winter 2016 lineup, to which all these formats were made to lead everyone back to the original source material. So yeah, it's pretty much like most other modern titles getting adapted nowadays. Write a book, kid, and maybe you can get your own anime. Believe to achieve. In regards to my intro, how is this series different than any other isekai anime? Well, they pretty much took every stereotype isekais are famous for and turned them into their complete opposite. This is Kazuma, a shut-in nerd who just wants to stay indoors and play his games all day, every day. That is until he steps outside and sees a young girl about to get run over by a truck and sacrifices himself to save her. Now in the afterlife, a goddess named Aqua comes forward to tell him that he is in fact dead and is given one of two options to go forward with. Either retire in the heavens and be seriously bored, or be reborn in the new world, similar to typical RPGs where he has to try and defeat the Devil King. But she kindly tells him all of this after teasing him for having such a pathetic death.
ショック死ですけど、トラックにひかれたと勘違いして。
ショック死
現在あなたの家族が病院に駆けつけ、その死因に家族さえも思わず吹き出し。
やめてやめて
Well, she seems nice. Kazuma decides to go to the new world and live out his days in his new RPG world and has to choose at least one item to take with him, while Aqua keeps pestering him to choose already.
ねえ、早くして。どうせ何選んでも一緒よ。引きこもりのゲームオタクに期待はしてないから。
Now Kazuma is getting really annoyed with her and decides to get back at her by choosing her as his one item. Little does Aqua know that this request actually works, as she is instantly replaced by a temp goddess, while her and Kazuma are sent to the fantasy realm. Little does Kazuma know is that Aqua is completely useless despite being a goddess, and is now stuck with...
お願いお金貸して月払う分だけでいいから。
うるさいダメ神
Okay, you know, if anything, the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme should be like the main theme to the show, because there wouldn't be that many scenes where that theme wouldn't fit in perfectly.
佐藤和馬さんですね。どれも普通ですね。今回の報酬、壊した檻のお金を引いて10万エリスだって。
Basically, this is a comedy turning everything basic from typical adventure shows and creating the exact opposite. Our hero Kazuma is not a young man seeking adventure while bettering himself through the people he meets, but is more like an entitled nerd thinking he's owed the ultimate adventure because He's a nerd who knows what he wants. Aqua is not the supportive heroine or the obnoxious tsundere falling for the hero, but is actually a lazy, self-centered, obnoxious, egocentric, self-absorbed, bratty, whiny, bitchy, petty, and an all-around selfish baby. I could go on, but I think you get the point. And then we have the other two adventurers they meet along the way. There's Megumin, a highly talented mage who could master any spell known in their world, but would rather learn explosive spells because they're her favorite. Also, her design and mannerisms look a bit familiar.
あまりの強大さゆえ世界に疎まれし我が禁断の力を何時も欲するか。あなたを見つけるために育成層の時を得てここに来た。覚醒の時来たれり無病の境界に落ちし断り無行の歪みとなりて現出せよ。血の命役に従い我汝を召喚する。まあ嘘ですが単におしゃれでつけてるだけ。ごめんなさい、引っ張らないでください。やめろちょっと待って、今つけ直す。
I just can't put my finger on it, guys. And of course, we have Darkness, the supportive type who wants to help out her new friends in any way she can, but for her own reasons.
私をあなたのパーティーに入れ
お断りします。
即断だと。倒れたものを見捨てるなどできるものか。なんという恥ずかしめ。汚らわしい。
喜んでる。
あの檻の中ちょっとだけ楽しそうだな。
行くなよ。
Just so you know, she's my favorite character, and the main reason why I kept watching this show. Not that I needed any reason to stop watching, as some of the jokes are really good, but Darkness was just an amazing addition to the show full of subverted expectations, which is the essence of Konosuba. Just when you think a scene will play out one way because of previous shows you've watched similar to this, the story and characters end up doing something different. Even the endings of both seasons carry out the show's overall theme. Skip to this time frame to avoid spoilers, okay? Great. Kazuma just removed an explosive device that could have wiped out the entire town and everyone in it. He's a hero! Yay! Hooray! Oh wait, he accidentally exploded some nobleman's house, to which he sent some people from the capital to arrest him. Aqua is able to prove to her people that she is really the goddess they've been worshipping, as she uses her purification powers to save them and their hot spring. She's a hero and should be worshipped. Yay! Hooray! Oh, whoops, she accidentally purified the medicinal spring, so now the town's main source of revenue is completely ruined. And one would think that this pattern of subverting expectations would then in itself become predictable, as you believe every scenario would go towards the unexpected, to which in some scenes you'd be right, but at least the jokes carry the scenes through. I will say that if I have to complain about one thing in the series, it's Aqua. Obviously. Okay, to be fair, I accepted her character a bit more than others, as there are plenty of people out there who flat out hate Aqua for her uselessness. But that characteristic plays a role in this show's overall shtick. She's not the typical maiden for a hero to win over. She is the least appealing heroine you could ever imagine, and often wonder if she's really supposed to be a good guy or not. In fact, let's go over 5 questionable moments that make you wonder why Kazuma puts up with Aqua. Number 1. In desperate cases to stay warm, Aqua has no problem burning the one item Kazuma has from his old world, but complains to no end when Kazuma tries to sell her bubbly wine in order to pay off a huge amount of debt they all swore to pay back.
やめて！私その子を抱いてないと眠れないの！
人のジャージ燃やしといてよく言えたなお前。
Number 2. She seriously hates nice girls. She constantly talks down to another goddess named Eris because she's more popular, and even tries to kill a nice lich woman for seriously petty reasons.
リッチーのくせに生意気よ！こんな店神の名のもとに燃やして！
Number 3, yes, she purified a mansion constantly being haunted, and now the gang has a new place to live in, but she's the reason why the spirits possessed that mansion to begin with. Referring back to number 2, the lich girl named Wiz took on a mission to put some of the souls at a graveyard to rest, which pissed off Aqua because she wanted to do it. Wiz was kind enough to let Aqua take over the quest, but of course Aqua didn't like having to return to the graveyard over and over again, so she just decides to get rid of the graveyard, thinking it would solve her lazy problem, which then caused the spirits to haunt a nearby mansion. Kazuma gives her a pissed off look for damn good reasons.
なんというマッチポンプ。これはどう考えてもダメだろう。
Number 4, even her own followers are ridiculous. While Eris's followers act like normal people, everyone who's a part of Aqua's church are insane. You know those telemarketers who relentlessly call you, or the mall stands where salespeople are trying to grab your attention for a sale, or that Nigerian prince who won't stop emailing you. I am not convinced that they're all part of Aqua's church. They'll deviously lure you into some form of sale or conversation, all attempting you to follow Aqua's church. None of us are surprised.
その仕事に就きますと漏れなく悪質教徒を名乗れる特典がついてくる。どうぞさあどうぞ。
And at number 5, no matter what happens to Kazuma, she will find a way to summon him back to their world so they can all work together to defeat the Devil King, just so she can go back to her goddess realm and continue being the spoiled brat she loves being. Don't you just love her?
ちょっとバカ言ってないで早くこっちに帰ってきなさいよ。さっさとレベル上げして私を展開に返すために魔王をしばいてきてちょうだい。
魔王か。
And yet, while I get her character and appreciate her more than others, I wish this series came with a set of earplugs.
こいつ。
Yeah, I'm just gonna send the studio my medical bills. There were times I found myself muting the screen a lot. I could tell when she was going to complain and scream over something, so I muted her like my ears depended on it. I get it was all to show just how unappealing and non-hero material she really is, but does she really have to scream non-stop? My god, I couldn't take it! Overall, I'd say Konosuba is a cute comedy full of a lot of hilarious moments and lines. My favorite character is definitely Darkness, as I believe she had the best lines and delivery, but I have a soft spot for Megami. Yes, Kazuma is an entitled nerd and a bit of a pervert. Yes, Aqua is beyond annoying and petty as hell. But given the context of the story and the jokes, these characteristics served a point, which contributed to every joke. This is what a typical isekai anime is supposed to be if every element turns into a complete disaster, and I believe it was pulled off nicely. If you're interested in checking out this series, be sure to watch both seasons on Crunchyroll or Anime Lab. This series was never dubbed, which is a real shame, as I love to see Jamie Marchi playing Darkness. Anyone else could play the other characters fine, but I'd seriously want Jamie Marchi for Darkness, since given her roles as Panty Anarchy and Ayame Kajo, she would have a blast playing this sadomasochistic lady. The animation was done by Studio Dean, who also brought you Fate Stay Night, Sankare, and Axis Power Hetalia. With all the action and fantasy elements involved in this series, I'd say this is some of their best animation by far. I was kinda hoping the intro and ending sequences would match the theme to the show, but it's pretty standard stuff to be honest. With all of that aside, let me know if you've seen Konosuba and tell me what you thought of it. If you haven't and are in the mood for an unexpected fantasy comedy, then you should check out Konosuba.
I love the feeling you bring to me. Oh, you turn me on. It's exactly what I've been yearning for. Give it to me strong.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Her family knows that anytime soon their little lady Katie goes kaboom.
Leroy Dragons!
Oh my god, he just ran in.
Hungry, hungry hippo. Hungry, hungry hippo. We love to feed our face. We're hungry, hungry hippo. We're in a leading race.
I guess you're gonna miss the panty raid.
5 or 6 machine ready to reload like an atom bomb about to explode.
exactly did you expect me to do?
Well, I don't know, maybe you could have bitched at him. How about that? That's all you appear to be good for these days. Huh? Used your bitch foo on him? Seriously, 5 ancient sages of bitchdom all gathered together one day on the peaks of Mount Bitch to proclaim your birth. And 100 years later, when all the bitch stars had aligned, you were born and made everybody's life around you a living hell because you are such a bitch!
She's a super freak, she's super freaking out. Everybody sing, super freak, super freak.
When in doubt, C4.
I'm not wearing underwear today. No, I'm not wearing underwear today.
ご飯の際には私がちょうだいって言ったら抵抗せずによこすことそして
Every time I turn around, there's somebody blowing his top.
George, that is a slight exaggeration, isn't it?
Make me come alive, come on and turn me on. Touch me, save my life, come on and turn me on. I'm so young to die, come on and turn me on. Turn me on, turn me on, turn me on, turn me on.
Oh, it's so f***ing cold! God! It's still cold! Oh, God, shut up!
Did somebody say boom?
Oh, God. Oh, yes, 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 yes.
I'll have what she's having.
Hey there, if you like what we do on this channel, be sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. If you wish to support us financially, we do have a Patreon page with numerous rewards to fit your budget. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter @AnimeAmerica, and be sure to check out our other channel, Pop Spectrum. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned, Anime America.